Hey guys, Trevor Hold here. Welcome to another episode of the Who Are We podcast. I got special guest with me, Ouly Reymond. How are you, Ouly?
Hello, Trevor. Hello, everyone.
Thanks for joining me today. Before we get started, just a little disclaimer: we're going to be recording this session, uploading
Yes.
it to YouTube, and putting some promotional stuff on LinkedIn or whatever, just to try and spread the word. We're just general conversations about who we are as people and what we're up to. So nothing too serious, just a bit of fun, just to raise a bit of awareness and get people thinking. I suppose is the main thing that we do. So with that, we might as well get straight into it. Who is Ouly, and what does he stand for?
Okay. My name is Ouly Reymond, and I'm the maximum performance coach for people who want to improve their life. I help them to become the champion of their life because as this world champion of Judo of the world, of master, I gained the attitude, the mindset, and also the perseverance, the consistency to help people to achieve their goals. And as I am also involved in health domain as an osteopath, I help them to recover for their health. And simultaneously, I also run 3 companies and one investment company in real estate. That's why now I try to merge all these skills in business, in health, and also in sport and in mindset to be this maximum performance coach that really raise people, be inspiring, and is an example not only with the words, but also with my actions. And that is what I can communicate with my coachee that have fantastic results in following me. And I stand for raising people because I really think that when people grow by themselves, when they are able to have a personal development goals, then it will help the world to be a better place to live. What do you think about it, Trevor?
Yeah, I think that's amazing. So I got from that a few things. It sounds like you're very busy with 3 companies, an
Yes.
investment company, and I got attitude and mind space is a very big part of what you're about. Having the right attitude and mindset. And it was interesting to hear you say that raising people to be the best they can be, or growing people to help with their own
Mm.
personal goals is something that you enjoy working towards, but also being able to transition all these activities in your life into the one thing, and trying to merge them all to become a super entity of you know of help, I
Yeah,
suppose. So yeah,
you leverage all the skills, all your strength,
yep,
and that is directed to help people. I
yeah,
also gain my life. Don't be
yeah,
surprised if I will charge for this service, but it's
yeah,
normal. Then
yeah, yeah,
I help also sometimes for free.
yeah,
And I think it's also a question of legacy. What will we let in this world? And one of the best thing I can let from my experience and from all my knowledge through all these years of experience is one book. And that's why I discussed with you last time. I wrote a book with Brian Tracy called Succeeding in Business in Any Market, in
yeah,
which I help people to really understand how to have success, not only in business, but also in their life. And the first point is to know yourself, who you are. And that is exactly the topic of today.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Second,
yeah,
second thing is also linked with your value. What are you standing for? Is the second question you asked, because the hierarchy of value is really indicated who you are. Three is having a mission and a vision for your life and goals. And don't be surprised if you have no goals, no ambition, no envy in your life, to be finally lost in the infinite quantum field of unusefulness. You really need to have a vision. You really need to have a goal, because we spoke last time about mental health. And
yeah,
if people are not feeling well, it's also because they don't know where they are going.
Yeah.
And I just wanted also to finish with the fourth point, that is
Yeah.
take care of your health. And the fifth point, to rest and to be surrounded by people that will help you to leverage your abilities. And that is the topic of today.
Yeah, and that's amazing that you bring that up, and that's exactly one of the reasons why I start, because I feel it's not just in business world as you've led to anyway. It's in your personal life, and it's in everything you do. If you're lost and you don't know who you are, it's hard to be the best version of yourself because you don't know what that is or what that looks like. So I feel that's a very good, and like you say, that's one of the main reasons with this podcast, because I felt a lack of identity was a big contributing factor for domestic violence, for youth crime in Australia is quite bad at the moment, and suicide is quite a big one, as you know. I'm very passionate about. So
Yes.
The fact that you raised and identified them 5 points, I feel, is very similar to some of the thinking that I've been exposed to, and I can relate to a lot of them things. And I noticed your last one, or well, the last two was take care of yourself. I think we spoke about this last time. There was a story. If you're at 30,000 feet, I don't know, do you do much flying? 30,000 feet, and you hit turbulence in the plane, start shaking, the mask drops. You're instructed to put the oxygen on yourself first. You can't help anyone else until you help yourself. It sounds like one of your big values. And surround yourself by like-minded people who are going to help you. That's your fifth point, I think. Is that about right? Is that how you see it?
Can you repeat for the last point?
Surround yourself from like-minded people that are going to help you and work in similar goals and similar things to so it's not such a hard thing for you to do if you've got other people encouraging you and other people helping you up and giving you a hand, and that helps. As your fifth point, it seems to be what it was about.
Yes, and I wanted to share two things about what you said. One is about the responsibility. If everyone is taking a responsibility for himself first, and it's linked with the mask, then you can help others. But it signifies that you need to be surrounded by good people, and also to have feedback from people to say, hey, you are not acting well. And this kind of responsibility, when you are not living for yourself, but also for other people, when you are in charge of other people, I think it's there that the life really begins. Because you can live a life selfishly, and finally, as I said, don't be surprised to be lost if you only live your life on social media to just have fun, to just enjoy your life. It's when you are taking care of people that are less privileged than you, then really you are growing, and that life is magical, I would say. And the second point is linked with the value. And on my website, www.maximum-performance.com/value, I help people to bring awareness on what are they standing for, which are the values. Because if you say to me, oh, my biggest value is, for example, to take care of my family, but the day they have an accident and you are still at job and you say, oh, but don't care, I come later, then it's showing your decision, your actions matter, and will show you exactly the hierarchy of values you have. And this kind of tool will help people to understand what is the most important thing in their life. And once you know it, then you are able to act in that direction, to be totally aligned with the person who you are exactly. That signifies that if my mother is calling me and she has an accident, then I will say, okay, I leave my job and I will come to see you. It could be also in this podcast. And I hope it will not be the case. But if there is an emergency, then I could be able to run and to say, okay, I am sorry, I'm totally sorry. but that
yeah,
is the most important thing for me, to be
yeah,
caring, serving, providing for people I love.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
everybody has his own hierarchy of value, and it's not a question of judgment. It's a
yeah,
question of who you are, and that's it. You can
yeah,
be an asshole, and if you live following your value, I
yeah,
always said I prefer an asshole that is totally aligned with the person he is
yeah,
than
yeah,
a good like person, but is acting finally badly in the back of people or is
yeah,
gossiping, because
yeah,
at
yeah.
least this person lives following his value, even if he is an asshole.
Yeah, yeah, and that's an important point. It's nothing. It's not any value in writing some spiel down about this Fantasyland thing about I want to do this or my value is this, and not living it as well. So your point is whatever you identify of what your value is and how you want to live your life and who you are, then make sure
Mhm.
that that's who you are and work towards who you want to be. And I think you said responsibility was one, but accountability as well in that as well. So
Yes,
yeah,
exactly, exactly,
self
exactly.
self determination, self responsibility and self accountability. I suppose three big main things. Yeah, and your book, how long did it take to get out? Was it a big effort, a big part, obviously, with your busy schedule to try and get that actually
Yes,
written
yes,
down?
that's why I came a little bit later. We discussed at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
and it was a big job. And it's not finished because I
No.
also am working on the French version.
Okay.
As I am a French-speaking person, I will distribute it in my language too, and I think
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
good thing if people can be more aware
Yeah.
about how to build themselves. I really
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
through this logical step: one, to know who you are; two, your values; three, vision, mission; and
Yeah.
five, take care of yourself, your health; and
Yeah.
five, finally, we can also add spirituality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it will help people to be less in a crime. And I
Yeah.
especially think at what you said, in some countries or some cities, people are acting badly, but it's why? It's because of the hierarchy of values. They don't
Yeah.
value life, or they don't value
Yeah.
others' propriety. That signifies that they can be
They got
theft
nothing.
or
Nothing to live for. They've got no, like I think you said about no vision for themselves, no purpose, I
yeah,
think, yeah, a lot of
yes,
them things,
yes.
yeah, or maybe drugs became their purpose, and that's like a distorted sort of view of purpose, I
Mhm.
suppose, becoming addictive. So yeah, no, that's great. And so your book's available on. How do we buy your book if we want to read it?
Yeah, it will be available on Amazon and also directly by myself on my website, as I mentioned before,
Yeah, and
maximum
succeeding in business.
performance.com. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay, that's cool. Well, yeah,
yeah.
we'll put some links up on some
Ah,
posts
super.
anyway,
Thank you very much
and
for this
try and do a bit of
opportunity.
plugging for you. So,
Yeah,
no, well, and if you had any final messages for anybody, what would a final message be, Ollie?
yeah. I just encourage people to go through practicing sport, also to leverage their life by taking a physical um, strengths in building themselves first physically, and it will help them also to be better psychologically. I really think it's linked, and I saw it during my years of practicing judo at a high level. That when you are able to have physical training really hard, then you are also bringing to life the best version of yourself.
Yourself, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
and it's not only you; it's finally a universal law. If you have a look at how are growing trees, they first plant themselves, and then they grow big. But first, they need to go in the field to have finally enough roots to be
yeah,
strong.
yeah,
And that comes from building you, yourself, your physical ability, your psychological abilities, your identity.
yeah,
And then you will be able to carry also others with you. during
you.
your life,
Yeah.
during
Provide
your
shade for them
experiences.
and
Yes.
drop some water from the ground. Yeah, that's a good analogy, isn't it? Because it's hard for the first one to get there, but once someone's there, then the people around you, your family and your friends and your network and people you work with, you can drag them, because you can either drag people down or you can drag people up. And if you're being the best version of yourself, you try and drag everyone up. That's a really good message. I like that.
Yeah.
Ouly. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. And I also wanted to add that it's important to have good routines, because finally the person you are is linked with the habits you have. And the same applies if you are eating shit, listening to shit, breathing shit with cigarettes. Don't be surprised. You have a bad health. You are thinking like shit, or you don't grow, because you need to have a good environment and good habits. If you look at a person that is in a really good physical fitness shape, he has some habits that are linked with what he is eating and also what he's doing to the fitness. And that's why he has the body he deserves. It doesn't come from a surprise. Oh, I'm really in a good shape today. It's because
Right.
the person worked. The person worked and was going, and the person was also sacrificing, because sometimes he would have preferred to drink alcohol or to party or to go late to bed, but the next day he will have to go to the fitness, and that's why he said, "Oh, but I will not go too late because it will affect my ability to have results." And if you have a look at champions, for example, especially in the athletic fields, so top athletes, they don't go in clubs, they don't smoke, because they know they will pay the day after you do it. Then you will pay. You need to be careful about it. And if you have a champion mindset, you act like a champion in everything in your life. That signifies your sleeping habits, your eating habits, what you consume when you listen, read, etc. And I take an example for me, because I am a joyful guy. I really like to play, to discuss, and to enjoy my life. And I was having some jokes that were coming always on my social media. And finally I said, "Oh, it's joy, it's pure fun." And then I said, "No, I don't deserve. I want to be a champion. I cannot just be spending my time and my life in laughing at people's having a fall. No, it's okay, but it's not part of my life now." So I decided consciously, because it's a conscious process, to say, "No, I don't want this kind of stuff on my phone." So I scroll, and then I don't let it enter in my life, to be fully focused on what I want to achieve in my life.
And that's what it is, isn't it? It's just taking that responsibility and having that discipline to be the person that you want to be. Yeah, that's great. Very good.
What are your habits, Trevor? For example, when you wake up in the morning?
I'm very schematic, and that's one of my biggest weaknesses. Actually, you talk about discipline. That's probably my biggest weakness. As an entrepreneur, I suppose, you've got a few different types, and some are focused and doing stuff, and that's what they do, and they're good at it, and they get in the routine. I'm a little bit more fluid, I suppose. I actually got the word mixed up with the financial thing. You probably laugh, but they're talking about fluid in business, and obviously talking about selling and turning assets into cash. But I sort of misinterpreted it. But being fluid to me is being able to take opportunities if they arise. So being in a position in life where if something come up here that was a good opportunity, then I was in a position to act on that and take that. So, but in saying that, last year I was doing box jumping on my birthday. I went for the world record in the number of box jumps in an hour, and I did over 800 box jumps in an hour, which is a little bit short. But it was like 80%.
In a row. Was it in a row?
Yeah, in a row. Yeah, 800 in a row. Yeah,
amazing, amazing.
And there's some footage of it, but the world record was 1,006. So it was about 80% of the world record pace. But he done it as a teenager, and I was like 44. So I felt that wasn't too bad. But
oh my God!
And you are right, it does do. But yeah, one of the biggest things, and that's something that I'm trying to work on a little bit now, is routine and habit. I suppose is probably a big part of some of my things, but a lot of what I do is sporadic and spontaneous, I suppose. Like and my mind wanders I get distracted very easy, and there's something shiny over here, I'm going to go and have a look over there. So I'm a little bit weird like that, I suppose. But in saying that, I got 3 businesses as well that I run, and generally I'm very lucky with support that I've got in my life with people around me. So I suppose I can afford to be a little bit like that with a lot of good people around. So, but that's my kryptonite, actually.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. And my question is about the goal. Finally, you said, okay, I want to break the world record. It was your goal, finally, to say, I try to reach this, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of my goals, for example, are more to do with coping mechanisms, I suppose. At the time, getting into that box jumping, I don't know if you know, I just had recent shoulder history redone, and the pain was quite bad last year when I done that, and box jumping was something to take my mind off that. But I also had some other difficulties in my life with some business things and some things, and sometimes breaking that pattern of whatever's going on in your head. And I found box jumping was very good. And once I get going on something, I'm very stubborn, and I just try to see it out. So just try to get that stubbornness into good patterns, like you said, good things. Because I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do any of that sort of stuff anyway. So I don't do drugs. So and I haven't got that much of a social life. Everything I do is mainly based around my goals here on the farm and my business. So I'm very lucky because my business and my income that's generated from my business is what I want to do. So I can be a workaholic and do a lot of work and do these conversations with you because that's what I do, and and that's what I want to be. So I'm very blessed, I suppose, like that. And again, it's because of amazing people in my life, and credit goes where credit goes. And one of the biggest things that I say to people from my perspective is it's important who your partner is. It's important who you're going to spend your life with. It's probably the biggest decision of your life. And if you've got someone that can support you and raise you up and let you be the best you can be, then that's gold, and it doesn't come along that often. And I am very blessed with that sort of support. And I've been with my partner since I was 25 years now this year. And I feel that I wouldn't be as successful as what I am now without that amazing support. And God bless him for bringing her into my life. So,
I totally agree with you, and I have a story to share with you about having a good partner, because I am running also coaching for children, teenagers, and I was doing. They had to break their record. They had to say, okay, how much I am able to do. And on my own, I would have said for air squat, it's not as much as you with your box jump, but I would have really happy if I could have done 50, perhaps 60 or 70. I was not knowing how much I could do. And this guy was really soft and had no problems to go up and down, because it was a young guy, so I was more in strength doing the exercise, and he was more fluid, as you said before. And he finally reached the 200 marks. But I was at the point that I raised 160 air squat, and I was even not aware that I could have done it. And it's just because this young guy was pushing me that I was able to say, oh my God, I was thinking I am even not able to do 100. And when you are surrounded with the right people, with the people that are challenging you, like it's a challenge. And if you are just staying in your comfort zone, finally you are dying. And at the same age as you, 44, I said, impossible to do it. And finally, the next time I wanted to show him, oh, I'm able to beat you. That's why I was going to 212. Just because in my mind, I said, no question that I will lose this time. I will beat you. So this kind of challenge is pushing up.
And that's
really better.
that's something that's really reflective, like the people around you. A lot of people talk about that. But the biggest problem that I have when you talk about my personal circumstances is the people that I help are probably the lowest and the most down in society, I suppose, homeless and suicide and a lot of these things. So it's very important for me, because otherwise it's very easy to get sucked into negativity all the time. And I do it, and it's a real thing, a challenge that I have to face all the time, is because I don't get the motivating people like you or something there cheering me on or anything like that, because I'm the cheer and I'm trying to get other people out of the gutter, or trying to get them, off the drugs, or trying to get them not to jump off the bridge or whatever. And it can be very draining and very hard on me, because it's a battle that I'm facing alone, and you don't get any appreciation. You get no thanks for it, and even in society, no one really cares. It's just and it's all internal. It's because I want to do it, But now with this podcast, it's been really good. And another guest, I've actually going to participate in one of his programs starting up on Friday. So that's really interesting. I'll put some more up there. But just having these conversations and finding inspirational guys like you out there doing it, and that sort of helped me get going, because this is going to be public and this is going to help people forever, isn't it? Like these conversations and these things, And I think I've done about 50 of them now. So I think, I'm starting to get a bit of confidence and a bit of things that these things are making a difference in society. I am doing it, and regardless on what people say or what people do, or whatever social media throws at me, or people who don't know me might judge me or whatever. It doesn't really matter, because I know in my heart I am who I am, and I'm very comfortable with that, with the support that I have, So.
And finally, people are crossing your road, and you will save some life, perhaps this year, perhaps in 2 or 3 years, because a person has met a person, you said, and that's amazing what you are building.
And I like to thank you for being a part of it, Ouly, and such a very honest and open sort of conversation, and free flowing. I really do appreciate and everything you're doing as well, and your book and that. And I'll be sure to put some plugs on there for you, and hopefully this is not the last time we speak, and maybe we can catch up again, another time.
I also wanted to share that my goal is also to inspire people, and especially men and young men, because as you said, they are suffering of mental problem, and I think we need strong men in our society, men that are able to carry already the load, but also to help others, and if we can be a kind of example by beating a record, or to be a coach, then it will also help the society, because we suffer actually of this kind of problems. And one of the things I try to implement for myself is to be not only good, but to be excellent. And your excellent is not mine, because we are not at the same level, and it's okay. But at least try to reach your potential, try to be a champion, try to explore and to exploit all your potential. That is the key.
Because you only have to beat who you were yesterday, don't you? If you can just continually improve on yourself, I'm not competing against you, and you're not competing against me, or nothing. Like you're not gonna run against Usain Bolt in his prime, or we're not going to play football against whoever the big football stars are. But if we just try and do better than what we did yesterday, and over years, we're going to get there. So it's quite interesting. Like you say, it's a journey, and you'll never get there, because you're always going to try and get better. So it's quite exciting when you think about it like that.
Yeah, and it's linked with your attitude, with your behaviors, your identity, and your routines. And let me share you, for example, my routines that took many years to take place. So every morning I take a cold shower, and every morning I dislike to go for this moment because I know I will really face a bad moment in my life. But just because I do it, then it leverages my courage. I am really conscious of going through a hard time, and then my day is already win. It's a win because I already start the day with this. That is an example. And then I do some meditation, visualization, reading, etc. So I try to have the best as soon as I wake up. So at least my day is, even if I have bad news or bad situation or problems to deal in my business as you, I am aware that I did the best for me, at least in the morning.
Yeah. Get up there and get it out of the way. Yeah. And that's what they say about saving money, isn't it? Pay yourself first.
Yeah,
That's the same thing. Same sort of philosophy.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. No worries, mate. Well, I'll let you go. And, yeah, hopefully don't be a stranger and keep an eye out for some links, and I'll tag you in a few posts and that, and we'll go from there, right? Thanks very much, kind sir.
Yes, super. Thank
See
you
you,
very
mate.
much, Trevor.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.